Linebackers, we've got Edgerrin Cooper. Shout out Adrian Senko. Here he is. Now I'm going off of Mel Kiper's rankings. Read where the play's going. Shrug off the blocker. Luckily his teammate made a play before he even had to do anything. Good awareness. Get to the ball. Kind of ran past. Shows some physicality. Got to be careful. Don't draw a roughing the passer penalty. But at least he's willing to get physical. He kind of got stuck in no man's land there. He's either got to commit to coverage or commit to rushing the passer. Here, he decides to rush the passer at the last minute, but that leaves this guy wide open. He's got to have better awareness there, and that's just a complete misthrow. So, yeah, that's completely on him. This quarterback should have made that throw. Not a good look. Seems like he's very, very focused on the run. And so, like, you got to be a bit cautious of players who are deemed run stoppers or great in pass coverage, because they might prioritize one or the other, and you want a linebacker who can do both almost simultaneously. They can make sure that they have enough depth in their coverage in case it is a pass or a play action, but then you want them also to have the toughness and the awareness to advance up the field and make a tackle on a running quarterback or running back, or even, jet sweep type action. So it looks like Cooper's very, very focused on stopping the run, which means that unfortunately there's linebackers like Kenneth Murray stand out to me, who's really, really aggressive in trying to be a run stopper. But that means that quarterbacks can just pass behind him constantly, and so he's constantly giving up first downs. So hopefully Cooper isn't like that, but I'm seeing some trends here. Yeah, this looks like a good running back. Again, he's already a little bit too far forward in my eyes. I feel like he's got to have a bit more depth, because there's a high chance it's a pass purely because it's in the shotgun. You got a tight end kind of out wide. There's some movement going on, but he's just sort of stationary, and I'd like him to be a bit more of a field general and sort of at least mess with the quarterback and move around a bit. And here, how do you pick this guy as the top off-ball linebacker in the entire class? Because here, he just completely misses. That's kind of his responsibility. By now, he should have understood that this is where the most space is, and he's got to cover it, and he's got to rely on his own man to cover the gap that he started in. But instead, he commits to that gap, and look at the space that the running back now has. Okay, so he's out wide here, so guarding a tight end allows the tight end past him. See how he emphasizes the run stopping too much? And he's overshooting, and he doesn't get in front of the ball enough. Okay, so he needs to see that once he understands that the running back's trying to get forward and run between the tackles, he needs to get behind his guys and make the stop. I'm done evaluating him. I wouldn't draft him. Got better things to do, guys. Junior Colson. Versus Penn State. Adrian Senko is the man. I'm going to give him a sub and a like. Junior Colson. Alright, kind of rushing. Shows some urgency to move around. What's up with the number 25? Wow. This is great fundamentals. You don't see a lot of NFL cornerbacks do this, is point their hips towards the sideline and make it harder for the receiver to go inside as a result. Be like a matador and make them run outside where they have less space. And here the quarterback's just, I suppose, was going for a shorter route, but it's kind of stuck. Yeah, this is his fault. Alright, so what should have happened is he sees this tight end get a free release. He's at least got to chip him and then kind of evaluate what's going on in the backfield and chip him and then even stay with him if the running back's staying in to block. But instead, he lets the tight end go behind him, and this is an easy throw for the quarterback right in front of him. So that's where this is... Okay, so you might be great at shutting down a running back in the flat, but here, he's being selfish. He's like, okay, I'm going to shut down my guy, but he's only focusing on his guy. There's no team defense concept, and that's... You see that in basketball all the time. Like, guys are considered great defenders, but they don't have an understanding of the team. So this is the linebacker's fault. The tight end got open, and that's Colson's fault. He looked right behind him, gets sucked in. Because, I think Colson has to trust his teammates. You'd rather the ball get passed out, which could get batted down by the defensive lineman, for starters. You'd rather Colson to be hovering around in this curl flat zone, and then it gets passed off to the running back, and then you have playmakers who can fly to the ball and potentially make a TFL. That's better than what happens, and he commits too much to the flat, an easy pass, easy offense to execute. Okay, so he's willing to stand up the blockers, so that's good. Is he worth being drafted? Nah. On the edge here. Nice and physical. This is his fault. Lets the biggest threat run past him. Prioritizes his own man. Is this guy worth drafting? Nah. He's just... It looks like he just gets greedy, overshooting. Like, if you're a really good linebacker, you push this guy out and then meet the guy in the hole for a potential strip. But he's just kind of being led outside a little bit too much. He just doesn't really know what he's doing, I think. I bet he tested well, but who gives a shit about that? And look, if there's this aggressive of a play action, like, there's a high... Like, if someone's got to chase this guy, and he doesn't really move enough with where the formation's wanting to go, and, yeah, gets sucked in. I don't know, maybe... What should have happened here? Let's break this down. Like, if you're a leader of the defense, you've got to either chase this guy yourself or make another guy chase him. And the defense isn't reacting enough to this movement because I don't know. Who cares? I think this guy's going to be very easy to misdirect. And he's just not physical enough. He's not standing up guys enough. He's shying away from contact here. He's getting blocked way out wide to the sideline by a tight end. You know, the best linebackers don't even let like huge offensive linemen do that to him. And this is at the college level against University of Connecticut. And he's being driven out. So... He ain't it, guys. What are we doing here? Yep, again, stuck in no man's land. Lets the tight end get a free release behind him. Easy completion. Alright, this is his fault. I love Drake May, but he's got to hit this guy. And the linebacker should be filling this hole. So again, all of these guys you could just completely expose in the pass game. Because they're too aggressive. They want to get in on the quarterback and bat the ball down or sack them. But the best linebackers get back in coverage, and they can identify a pass, and then, okay, if they realize that it's a run play, then they collapse in on the ball. Not the other way around. Because a linebacker who's too aggressive, you can just play action them or have passes over the middle all day long. I'm flying through these boys. Wouldn't draft any of them so far. I'm liking his positioning a little bit more than the others, I think. Showing some alertness to what's going on in the backfield. This is good technique here where he takes one for the team and draws the center in hard, allowing this outside rusher to go inside, and this is so this is great teamwork. Plays his ass off, so that's good. That's a potential helmet-to-helmet hit. Yeah, I think it is. So that's a flag in the NFL. So he's got to watch out for that. I'd like him, again, to be a little bit more alert to this. Taking that blocker on, so that's good. No, he's better than all the other guys for sure. All the other guys I've evaluated anyway. Would like him to attack this a little bit harder. Really drive this way, and if the offensive lineman keeps up with him, hit him with a nasty spin move, and then he's immediately in the quarterback's face. But he doesn't seem to have that in his game yet, and so he just gets caught up on the offensive lineman. And this is where he needs to direct traffic to be more inside the tackles, because this is way too many defenders outside. And he does alright to get across here and make the tackle, but it wasn't enough, clearly. And, I guess the linebacker is a logical position for a coordinator of the defense. Because I guess safeties, they might be too far back for their teammates to hear. Cornerbacks are too far out wide. Defensive linemen have got their hands full with, immediately what's in front of them. But linebackers can kind of sit back and give out orders. So it's logical for them to kind of be the team captain. And the great linebackers coordinate what the defense is doing and positioning and stuff. He's doing it a little bit here. He's just not quite in the right position when you need him to be. And not a savage enough pass rusher, and possibly that might translate to his run-stopping ability might not be all that great. And sucked into play action here, stuck in no man's land, and that's his fault. He gets greedy here, right? This is what I'm saying. A good team We'll just play action these bad linebackers and then they're out of position. Like, he needs to drop back and guard this guy. Yeah. So, look, late round pick. Like, 5th round pick at best, Cedric Gray, I think. I'll fly through it. Maybe I'll get to 25 minutes. That'll make making the thumbnail more efficient. Cover more guys. Okay, so why are we seeing Bookie? Oh, Adrian Senko, I love you. Has he got an option to donate? I don't know. Yep. He's jogging here. What's he doing? None of these guys are difference makers, are they? Look, I'm not saying much because I'd just be repeating myself. Like, all the flaws I've detailed on the guys prior, like, applies to this guy as well. He's just floundering. He just doesn't really know what he's doing, I don't reckon. It's just... I wouldn't bother drafting him. I'll do 3 more unless, like, what I love about this evaluation process is finding a really talented player, and I get excited to see them play at the next level, or feeling like there's a diamond in the rough that I can promote. It just sucks to think that these are supposedly the best of the best in college football. Like, we can do better. We can find better players than this. Meet the guy in the hole. Nice job. Rein in your emotions, though. Like, what was that? The first play of the game and you're getting that excited? Like, relax, bro. Getting some depth, understanding that he's got to get deep to cover. You love to see it. And that might have contributed to this sack. Taking the blocker on, still doesn't fill the hole properly. Not really putting his helmet in the right spot there. He's getting pushed around too much. He's not assertive enough. But he's getting back to cover, so that's good. Ooh, he showed good suddenness there. I honestly think a lot of guys are highly touted just because they look good in pads. It's got nothing to do with their actual playing ability. Like, this guy looks very strong. Has he got the finesse, though? See, here again, it's like your job as an off-ball linebacker. You're not getting past this offensive lineman at this point. So therefore, you should backtrack and try and see who you can cover, help your teammates out. But he just gets stuck. And it works out alright because this receiver drops it. Yeah, it's just a lack of team concepts. Again, lets the receiver behind him. You can just run rings around these guys. Okay, I'm going to have to copy and paste this name. Okay, so right off the bat, his eyes are only forwards. Like, I like a linebacker. Like, which one of these guys is aware of everything that's going on and showing alertness to it? Like, he's just keying in on maybe what his primary assignment is and not understanding, like, the whole, what's going on in the entire formation. Like, is he even aware of this sweep? And he just gets led around. Leaves his feet, goes to his knees immediately in the tackle. I like a guy who tries to keep his feet as long as possible. Getting driven completely out of the way. Essentially, with the linebacker, I want a guy who is trying to stop the pass first and foremost, but then when it's time to tackle a ball carrier, he's an absolute monster and doesn't let anyone stop him from getting to the ball. But a lot of these guys are kind of like, they don't really know when it's a pass or a run, which might, come down to them not watching enough tape, but also just like getting greedy and trying to stop the run. It doesn't matter if you have a few TFLs in a game if there's like 5 passes being thrown behind you. Nah, there's no way. You can't be misled so easily, guys. Come on. And look, these are all massive schools. You're telling me all the best linebackers in the country are all going to these blue chip schools? It's probably not the case. Alright, I could see that this was going to happen even pre-snap. Again, he's keying in on what's going on right in front of him. He's got to understand that this guy is going to have an easy release right behind him. All the quarterback has to do is understand that he's rushing, and then this receiver can go in behind him, and it's an easy completion. And that's exactly what happens. I like this receiver. He's quite good. Taking on that blocker nicely. So, all the receiver had to do here is just turn and stop. And then the quarterback could find him easily. Because the linebackers that we're evaluating here is just going up and getting greedy. And he's just stuck in no man's land almost the entire time. Just a low awareness players. Do I have to explain myself anymore? We don't really reward players who are smart enough, I don't think. We always want the great athletes, but there's no use having a big, strong physical body if you don't know where to put it. Let's see if Tommy Eichenberg can redeem all of these guys. No. I love a linebacker who stays in front of the ball and tries to stop forward progress best he can. So Eichenberg here needs to move around this lineman and get in front of the ball, but he overshoots it here, and now he's got to play catch up. Again, shows a bit too much willingness to stop what's going on in the backfield when there's this guy releasing behind him. Again, free release behind him. These guys are putting on a masterclass of being greedy for what's going on in the backfield and letting all sorts of damage being done behind them. Look, the thumbnail for this is going to be, wouldn't draft any of them. Cedric Gray is the pick of the bunch, but he's hardly going to make a big impact on the league. Are there any other off-ball guys here, or is that all Mel Kiper's mentioned? Really disappointing stuff. If you want to see some better play, what can I offer you? I mentioned Kenneth Murray in this video. Was there any really good linebackers in the 2022 NFL draft in the top 45? I don't really recall. Khalil Hodge was a really good linebacker out of Buffalo who I don't think has played professionally anywhere outside of Buffalo College. But he's featured in this video. So yeah, this is just a showcase of some of my paywall stuff. And here's my boxing match. There's a linebacker named Mason Jacobson who I think has gone through 1 year of college at Boise State as a walk-on, but he would demolish all of these potential 2024 draftees in terms of talent. He's unbelievable. And then there's a player called, is it Ben Mason? No. Ball State linebackers. Ben Marsh. I evaluated this guy because he wasn't very highly recruited, and Ball State's not a massive college. But this Ben Marsh guy, if I've got it right, yeah, I think it's right. This guy would be one of the best linebackers in the NFL, and he's a sophomore at Ball State. Is there any tape on him? Doesn't look like it. Maybe I'll have to put some together because he might not have played. But yeah, you can find some amazing NFL players in some of the most obscure, or football players in some of the most obscure places. And you know, all of these guys are probably going to be on at least $1 million a year within the next few months, and none of them deserve it, I don't think.